Hello everyone, Zellerant here, and for today's video on Umamusume, we're going to talk about the upcoming support card banner alongside the upcoming new Uma that'll be dropping here with the next update. And normally I do these two videos as separate, but because I can go through the support cards real quick since they're just a rerun, I thought I'd just go ahead and combine them. And so for the support cards we have rerunning are going to be Tazuno and Riko, and then the new Uma that'll be dropping will be Sakura Chiono. Now, with these support cards, these are both of the PAL cards that we've had, Tazuno being primarily URA, and Riko, the one pretty much everybody's been using and is familiar with because she's been very good in Unity Cup. Very easy answer to this banner is it's an easy skip. Now, Riko is very usable in Make a New Track if you MLB'd her through Unity Cup because she does have 10% race bonus, but there's just so many better options out there. Especially surrounding her banner, whether it's the Speed Fuku that's out now, you have Fine Motion coming up, you have the NTR banner. Absolutely not worth it to spend any pulls on her at this point if you don't already have her at MLB for Unity Cup. And Tazuna's just dead on arrival, she has no race bonus. And going into the next scenario after Make a New Track, you have PAL cards pretty much for every single scenario past that point that will be specifically tailored to that scenario, with Light Hello being the main one for Grand Live. So that's it for the support cards. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the upcoming Uma that is Sakura Chiono. And so like I always do with all of my looks, we'll take a look at the stat bonuses, the aptitudes, the skills, and I can kind of give you my thoughts on whether or not she'll be a good Uma for you to pick up. Now with Sakura Chiono, on her stat bonuses, she has 10% to speed, 10% to guts, and 10% to wit. Now, I mean, the thing I found is power is like the key one that I always want. So I put that as like a negative against any Uma that doesn't have bonuses there because it's always tricky when they have bonuses to speed, but not power. Even when you go like with full all-in power sparks to try and cap power. Now, Make a New Track is going to be completely different, which is coming up here very soon, where it might be a little bit easier, depending on the track, to cap that power. But it'll still be a little bit dependent on your deck that you're going with in there. Now, there are a lot of power cards with race bonus, so we'll just have to see at this point. But not too bad. When it comes to the aptitudes, she pretty much can do any of the distances on turf because she's E in short, E in long, meaning you can easily bring them up to A. E just basically means they can do it. You gotta just bring you just bring all of the sparks to do it, which generally you want to get S in that distance anyway, so it's not gonna hurt. Now, as you can see here, she's primarily going to be a pace, but she also has B in front, so very easily could be made a front runner if you wanted to. But when you look at her kit, you can tell that she's definitely built to be a pace. Now, looking at her unique skill here, increases velocity with a blossoming ambition when well positioned and close to the runner ahead with 300 meters or less remaining. This is similar to, already taking a thought of it, is Ugly Cap's ultimate. Other than this one has the requirement that you basically be right behind the Uma in front of you. So this is going to help you push up to pass them. So you're right behind somebody. This can be that final little oomph to get you past them. Now it is a 5-second increase of 0.35. But the problem is if they're too far ahead of you, and they're maybe moving away from you since they're maybe slightly faster, oops, I didn't mean to click that. This is not going to trigger, and then you're just going to lose. It's not as good as something like one of the ones just activates outright at 300 meters. But it does say and later, which can be nice, because if you're slowly catching up to them, then you could pop it off even under 300 meters. So not too bad. I could see this one being decently consistent to activate, depending on how you have her set up. When we look at the innate skills, everything I'm pretty decent here. It's kind of a mix for the distances, though. Spring runner, so she's definitely going to be better in the spring, coming outright with one of the greens for it. Prepared to pass and medium corners. Always nice to have the corner skills. Now, on her awakening skills, corner accelerations, fairly useless. Speed Spar, pretty good skill right there. Pace Chaser Savvy, as well as Spring Spectacle, which is the gold version of Spring Runner, which basically makes it now not only give 60 speed, but also 60 power. Just know it's fairly expensive of a skill because you have to hit it. Not only do you have to hit Spring Runner twice, then you have to hit the gold itself, which is going to cost, like, I think, like 300 or so skill points. In Make a New Track, we will have some more coming in because you're going to be racing so much, but it's still fairly expensive for what other options you're going to have. Now, we can look at the evolutions here when we get through everything else, what those skills change into. When you look at some of her event skills, you have Pace Chaser Savvy, Up Tempo, Head On. Head On being a good one to pick up is one of your kind of gamble accelerations there. And Feature Act, which I don't know if this is the first time we're seeing it for us in Global. Oh no, it looks like it is on TM Opera as well. But it's just another late race velocity increase on long races. So this one's tailored to long. She has a mix of that with mediums. So overall, not too bad. I mean, both of her golds are useful, especially once we start getting a lot more skill points to work with. So that's always nice. I hate when one of the negative things I've seen with some Umas is where the two golds kind of clash with each other. They don't really work together in whether it's a distance or a position, and then you kind of feel like the Uma can only go one direction or not. But that's not a problem with her. Now, when we take a look at what she'll get when we finally get the evolutions in the game, the first one is a Speed Star evolution. This changes it. I believe it's normally 1.8 seconds, but now it's got 4 seconds on it of a 0.35 speed increase on Speed Star. So a lot of times with Speed Star on some tracks, depending on what you're doing, it might be a gamble skill. I think like the sprint, for example, and I think even some of the miles, this can give you some speed carryover. And so if it's lasting 4 seconds now, instead of the 1.8 higher chance, it increases the chance to get that speed carryover since it's lasting a little bit longer there. It's not too bad. She actually has a second evolution for Speed Star, which doesn't change the duration, but it is an increase to current speed itself, straight to 0.45. And the difference, another little thing, and this is something someone had mentioned to me also regarding the difference between increase target speed and increase current speed. This is basically an instantaneous, no need for acceleration to get up to that new speed. They just immediately get that much faster. So that is a very strong skill or a speed increase there, even if it is a little bit shorter than the other one. This one she has to accelerate because it says increased target speed, while this one is just immediately increasing it. And then on her Spring Runner, it goes from 60 increase to 80. So just an outright increase of speed, 80, and an increase of power of 80. So it can be really, really nice, especially paired alongside if you're bringing like on a long track, you got long S, max speed. You got this one giving you another 80, plus you have whatever the right-handed or whatever, that gets you another 60. You can get it just an outright 140 additional speed, 140 additional power on top of Turf S, Long S, or whatever else you have, and you can have a huge advantage over other people on the stat side of things. Then it just comes down to the skills and really being able to take advantage of them. Now, my thoughts on Sakura Chiono is that she is a pretty decent pace chaser, but I think one of the problems I have is there's just so many other things that are after your carrots around her. And so unless she's like your favorite and an Oshi of yours, I think there's just a lot better options for you to kind of not only spend your carrots on around here or potentially just continue saving them because there's a lot of big stuff coming up. When you kind of look at what we have around this banner, of course we have the big one, Mihono Bourbon Valentine's. If you want to build front runners or you really like front runners, she's a really, really good pickup. Of course, if you like front runners, you have Kita-san Black also coming up soon. Now, we will have free pulls on her, but if you're not lucky or want to pull additionally, of course, Fine Motion support cards, a good pickup. You got the new scenario, Make a New Track with trying to get Admire Vega Guts. And that's pretty much it around here. Now you start getting a little bit farther into more, so if you can continue to save, then you have like Sayun Sky Ballroom, you have Nishino Flower for Pace Chasers, which should be very important as an inherit for Pace Chasers if you like Pace Chasers. And then other ones coming down the line. I don't need to go farther in. So there's just a lot of things that are after your carrots at this point. And so I feel like unless she's like a favorite of yours, she's an easy skip. She's nothing crazy. She's going to be good, but nothing too crazy. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my thoughts. And if you like my content, if you can like, comment, and subscribe, it really helps. And thanks for watching.